Welcome to the Atomic Shrimp Advent Calendar. This is a series of 25 videos that will take us from now, the 1st of December, all the way up to Christmas Day. An Advent calendar, if you don't know, is a device with small doors that you open, and behind each door would be a surprise. Traditionally a picture contributing to the building Christmas story, but in modern contexts, just some kind of small festive surprise, sometimes a piece of chocolate. Not all of the videos in this series will be specifically festive. Some of them will just be something to give us a kind of cosy, seasonal feel, or perhaps just attempt to induce a feeling of well-being at this time of year when the nights are drawing in, things are getting colder, and we're approaching the darkest time of the year. So anyway, let's open door number 1 on the Atomic Shrimp Advent Calendar. Now, I did say not every video in this series is going to be festive, but this one definitely is. To start us off into Advent, I want to make a festive breakfast sandwich. This is going to borrow a lot of ideas from things like croque monsieur, eggy bread or French toast as you might know it, and a few other things along the way. So I've got a sliced brioche loaf. First thing we're going to do is make a little bit of egg custard. So we need an egg, obviously. We'll have a little pinch of sweet cinnamon, single cream, which means cream with about 19% fat. Probably about the same amount as the egg in volume. A little dash of vanilla extract. And just a spoonful of sugar. I think I'll just add a tiny dash of milk. Just a smidge. Just to loosen it up a little bit. Okay, that's good. So that's the custard made. Now we're going to make some sandwiches to dip in it, and then they're going to be fried. So I've taken a couple of slices out of the middle of the loaf, just so we don't lose any surface area. And these sandwiches are going to be filled with mincemeat, or something a bit like mincemeat. And I made this yesterday. This is essentially dried fruits and nuts and a little bit of brandy. And anyway, easier than telling you what's in there, let me show you. The filling for my festive sandwich, I was going to use mincemeat. This is a jar of mincemeat. Called mincemeat, it used to contain meat. This is a very traditional thing. It's a mixture of fruits and suet and spices and, in this case, brandy. Traditionally, yeah, this would contain actual meat, and mince pies, which are made with this, would contain meat, or at least suet, which is chunks of animal fat. Over time, this has evolved into a product that's very much a fruit confection. I'm not going to spend too long reading this massive list of ingredients, but I'll go for the top few. Sugar, apple puree, sultanas, currants, raisins, cognac, glacé cherries, almonds, dried apricots, vegetable suet, citrus peel, and various other things. Anyway, so yeah, it's a fruity, nutty mixture that's baked into mince pies, which are fantastic. But Jenny can't have sulfites. I was going to do mine separate from hers, but I think what we'll do is we'll kind of make a form of mincemeat here from scratch. So what I've got here is some dark brown unrefined sugar, spices, ground ginger, cinnamon, and freshly grated nutmeg, prunes, dates, glacé cherries, walnuts, raisins, a lovely russet apple, and a clementine. The zest on these clementines is not always very nice, so to give us a little bit of orange zest, we're going to have a little spoon of marmalade in there, and a dash of brandy. So I'm just going to chop this all up, probably process it in the food processor, and then I'm going to leave it overnight with the juice of this orange to soak into the fruit and soften some of these dried fruits a little bit. Now I'm leaving the peel on these russet apples because if, like me, you're a fan of russet apples, you'll know that a lot of the flavour and character of russet apples comes from the skin. A little bit of brown sugar, about a tablespoonful of marmalade, the spices, nutmeg, cinnamon, ginger. So really what we're trying to do here is concentrate a lot of the flavours of Christmas into one thing. Okay, everything's in there now. The fruit, the nuts, the sugar, the marmalade, the orange juice, the brandy. Smells a lot like Christmas pudding, which is interesting because today is Stir Up Sunday, which is the last Sunday before Advent. So we are kind of making a little bit of a Christmas pudding-y vibe here. That looks just about right. So there's the mixture. Now what I haven't put in here is any kind of fat. So traditional mincemeat would contain suet. I did think about putting a bit of butter in here, but tomorrow's thing that we're going to make with this is going to supply the fat. There is no reason why I can't taste a bit of this now. It will be better tomorrow when it's had a chance to hydrate all of the fruits and for the flavours to infuse, but a little taste now won't hurt. That tastes like Christmas. That's going to go in the fridge overnight, and tomorrow, which is today for you, we're going to make festive breakfast sandwiches. So a nice spoonful of this stuff on each sandwich. If you can hear a chainsaw in the background, that's because it is the season of tree surgery. I don't have a lot of control over that, but somebody's out there bright and early, obviously already had their breakfast, and one of our neighbours is having a lot of tree work done. So anyway, about a couple of tablespoons full of this mixture onto each of the sandwiches. Bread on top. And press that down. I want to try and press that down without leaving handprints in the top of the bread. So flat of my palm, just to press it down, really, because we don't want it to all fall out. Oh, the wood chip has started. One thing I should do is just have a little taste of this today, because I tasted it yesterday before it was infused and aged overnight. Let's see if it's changed. Well, yes it has. Not only are the flavours all kind of blended together, but the orange has come a bit further forward. That just really, really tastes like Christmas now. These sandwiches need to be soaked in this mixture before frying. In fact, so that I can cook two at the same time, we'll decant a bit of this mixture into there, and then I can soak the other one at the same time. So this is a bit like eggy bread, or that you might know as French toast, but it's also a little bit like bread and butter pudding, which is a baked dish normally, but it's made from bread with sweetened egg custard over the top of it, often with some dried fruit in there as well. So this is a kind of mishmash of all of those ideas. While those are just soaking, let's get a pan hot. And I'm going to fry these in a mixture of a neutral vegetable oil, this is sunflower, and some butter. And we'll just wait until that gets completely melted, starts to foam. Meanwhile, there is one Christmas aroma that's missing from this, and that's Christmas trees. Now I was thinking, do I want to put pine needles in here? No. But here's a thing that kind of has a pine-like resinous flavour to it, rosemary. It even looks a bit like a little Christmas tree. Now I've got the heat quite gentle here, so this is going to take a little while before the butter starts to foam, because this needs to cook through before it burns. Okay, there we go. We can just see the butter starting to foam. And so now these sandwiches can go in. You may have noticed a complete absence of sizzle there, and that is because we are cooking these gently. This leftover egg mixture won't go to waste. Just spread a little bit more of that on top of the sandwiches, and if it soaks in, we'll add more still. Just ever so gentle bubbling there around the edge of the sandwich. And our two little Christmas trees. We'll just splay out the leaves like that. And press them on the top. And now we just wait. And I've got to cook them thoroughly on one side, then we'll flip them over, and the same on the other side. Right, I think we might be ready for a flip. Oh yes. Doesn't that look good? So when these are served, that rosemary is going to cook into the just top and hopefully give us a little bit of a Christmas tree vibe, but maybe not. That's an experiment. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. But there's just one more thing to prepare, which is I want to dust these with a little bit of icing sugar, that's powdered sugar, together with some ground mixed spice. So this is a mixture of ground cinnamon, coriander seeds, dill seeds, ginger, cloves and nutmeg. You might know this as pumpkin spice or pumpkin pie spice or pudding spice. It might not be exactly the same mix, but once you mix 5 spices together, you often get something that's kind of similar. So that's just going to be about 1/4 teaspoonful or less into a teaspoonful of icing sugar, and then we're going to shake that over the top. Okay, I'm just going to check and see how we're doing. Oh, we're nearly done on that side, so back over. I'll flip that round because that one needs a little bit more on that side. Perhaps we're slightly off the ring here. This one's done. This one just needs a little bit more evening up. Okay, and then let it snow. And there we go. That's my festive breakfast sandwich. Right, Jenny, nearly ready. Well, actually, that was Jenny's festive breakfast sandwich. This one's mine. Let it snow. Right, let's get that to the table and give it a taste. Okay, well, Merry Christmas. It's not Christmas yet, but anyway. So the little Christmas tree, the little rosemary Christmas tree. Well, I'm just gonna pull that off and put it to one side. But we'll see if we can get a taste of that bit there, which has hopefully got some rosemary infused into it. So here we go. Festive breakfast sandwich. Does it taste like Christmas is the question.
Mm.
Yeah?
Mm. That's very good.
Mm. So the benefits of making your own mincemeat like I did here means we went a little bit heavier on the nuts. It's about kind of 50% walnuts probably in the final mix. And that's really nice. The walnuts, just such a lovely soft nut to put in something like this. Mm.
Mm.
I'm happy with that.
Mm. It's really nice.
This is like if you combine the best aspects of mince pies with the best aspects of bread and butter pudding.
Mm.
Mm. Now, can we taste the Christmas tree? I'll have that little bite. Still got a couple of rosemary leaves on it. Have that little bite out in the middle there. Yeah, I mean it is a slightly pine-like aroma, rosemary. I think it's all about what you believe, isn't it? So I could believe that's a Christmas tree. This is a bit of a carb fest, so you know we're going to have to pay for this. So probably a nice walk in the woods, or you know, a nice bracing walk on the beach perhaps, just to burn off some of the calories. But it's a treat at the start of Advent.
You can definitely taste the rosemary.
Yeah?
Mm.
Does it make you think of Christmas trees?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's a little bit like a sort of pine forest
sort of
aroma, isn't it?
Mm.
How much of that is the rosemary, and how much of that is the suggestion I just planted in your head?
No, I can actually taste it.
Mm. Well, that turned out to be everything I hoped it would be. A taste of all of the Christmas treats to come at the start of Advent. So I hope this has been fun. There will be one video per day between now and Christmas Day. So thanks for watching, and I hope you'll join me again tomorrow for the next door in the Advent calendar.